Y'all ready to be history?
Get started.
Welcome.
Hi.
Hello, everyone.
To the Pro Audio Suite.
These guys are professional. They're motivated.
Thanks to TriBooth, the best vocal booth for home or on-the-road voice recording. And Austrian Audio, making passion heard. Introducing Robert Marshall from Source Elements and Someone Audio Post, Chicago. Darren Robbo Robertson from Voodoo Radio Imaging, Sydney. Tech to the VO Stars, George the Tech Whittam from LA. And me, Andrew Peters, voiceover talent and home studio guy.
Line up, learner!
Here we go.
And welcome to another Pro Audio Suite. Thanks to TriBooth. Don't forget the code TRIPAP200. That will get you $200 off your TriBooth. And Austrian Audio, making passion heard. Now, I've been hearing a bit of word on the street for RX11. Has anybody seen it? I think
it goes
you've been
to
playing
11.
with it.
Yeah, it goes all the way up to 11.
Goes to 11. That's right.
Look, I downloaded the trial of RX11. It's still good, but I mean, there's nothing in 11 that convinced me that I need to buy it, I think was the thing that I noticed. Yeah. I have 10, and I could spend my money better elsewhere if I was going to spend
I had
money on
7, RX7.
You would probably still be doing fine.
You're probably okay. I have RX7 and I never use it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't because when I was using WaveLab, it made it crash.
Okay. Wow.
It didn't like Steinberg. It crashed.
Yeah.
And I did actually send an email to Dan at iZotope, and he sort of said, look, we try and make it work for every DAW or recording, editing bit of software, but some get missed. And I'm thinking, well, Steinberg's huge. Why would you miss Steinberg? I mean, Steinberg's got Nuendo, Cubase, and WaveLab.
Right.
Anyway.
Steinberg's big in Europe, isn't it? I know it's big somewhere. Yeah, it's Europe that it's big in.
It's got to be somewhere.
Yeah.
It's the Hasselhoff of audio plugins. Like David Hasselhoff's big in Germany.
Yeah, it stays in Europe, though.
Hasselhoff is big in Austria. Yeah, exactly.
When they've got the voice recognition version, when you talk to it, instead of Hey Siri, it could be Hey Kit.
Yeah, that's right.
The question always remains, every new version, RX Standard or RX11 Advanced, right? And so, they do the model of each version. Let's trickle down something from Advanced to Standard so that people have another motivation to upgrade. Because if they don't do that, there's less of an upgrade motivation because a lot of
that's because they don't want to make something new,
right? Well, a lot of the algorithms haven't changed. Like I guarantee the amount they clicked is essentially the same since RX7 or 8.
It would have to be, yeah. But to be fair, that is reasonably good though. The D-click.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's good. I mean, can it get better? Probably, but for what it is, it does a good job, and a lot of people rely on it.
I think it's the main usable one.
Yeah. It's probably the one I use the most. Yeah.
I still draw them out in Pro Tools, to be honest.
Do you?
But
I guess it's a time-saving thing for me more than anything.
It is a time-saving thing, but none of them are clean. They all impart.
Yeah.
Like the only thing that makes it like just you can't tell and you truly just get rid of it. Nothing else is either isolating them and then hitting the D-click so you don't have to zoom in so much. But at that point, you might as well just zoom in and do it perfectly.
Are you drawing with your mouse, or have you got your pencil set up?
I draw with my mouse, with the trackpad, with the trackball actually.
You're a trackpad person. Trackball or pad?
Trackball.
Trackball, yeah. Because I saw your trackball at NAB, so I know.
Have you seen his balls?
I kept track of his ball. No, jeez.
You're stepping into it there.
Please edit that out, Andrew.
We'll highlight that in the promo.
If you say edit that out, it's guaranteed to be in the final cut.
You've just given us this week's promo, George. Don't be silly.
I've heard Conan O'Brien's podcast. It's called Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend, by the way. If you haven't heard it, it's great. But occasionally he'll say that. Let's cut that out of the show.
Let's cut that out of the show. And that becomes the promo. That's right, exactly.
Yeah. So the one, from what I can see, the one feature that did the trickle down is Dialogue Isolate, and that is their more advanced tool for removing. It's sort of their clarity, I guess.
Yeah.
It's sort of like reverse clarity.
Yeah, it is.
So, that one's worth playing around with. But other than that, you'd be hard pressed to be motivated to go to advanced unless you spend your days cleaning up production sound and tracks and video from other, where that's all you do. Otherwise standard is perfectly fine. People have been asking, of course, is it worth upgrading? And I say, look, if you don't know for sure, let's first of all, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? So if the audio you're putting out sounds great,
no need
don't get caught up in the hype. I mean, it's that these companies have to sell new software to survive and continue. And so, that's their job. And iZotope does a very good job because they, very early on, they partnered with a voiceover engineer as a developer partner. Like he helped, his name's Don Barnes. He helped create the mouth to click algorithm with them. And that was a very smart idea, right? Because he helps promote that product very well among especially the audiobook production world. Yep. So, they're one of the few plugins I think that really, I guess plugin companies, I should say, that really took notice of voiceover and audiobook narration, and said, we need to reach into that network and make it a partnership, they reached out. So I'm sure it's paid off for them. I mean, they've sold many, many licenses of RX Standard because people want mouth to click, and that plugin is only in standard.
Well, standard and above, right?
Standard and above, yeah.
Yeah. And there's X-Click from Waves, which I'll be honest, I don't think is as good.
No. Don't use that. But I completely agree. Like Waves declick never did it. It was like Waves add distortion is what it was.
Yeah. Every company has the things they want to, they focus on. And when you make a ton of plugins like Waves does, it's hard to justify a lot of development time on one really quirky plugin, like a mouth noise remover. Doesn't mean they won't do it, but they haven't.
But it was never a mouth noise remover. It was a declicker.
No, I know, but I mean that's for restoring like vinyl and stuff,
like
right?
records and vinyl, and it's not exactly the same thing. And I think that's the reason why it didn't really work for its possibly best use case, which is mouth declick instead of vinyl declick.
Yeah.
But that being said, I never used iZotope because I just heavily use Waves and X noise and Z noise, even though I admit are probably not as good. And I always, you should get that and this and that.
Yeah.
The results were the clients were always happy with what I could pull out of those.
Right.
So I'd be interested to go around the room because with the way plugins are these days, you could go down such a massive rabbit hole trying to keep up. So for me, I have two criteria. First and foremost, does it work? Does it do what it's supposed to do? Does it do it well?
Is it transparent? Is it
transparent?
Is it minimal artifacts?
Yeah. Is it better than anything I've got in my toolkit at the moment?
Right.
And if it passes that test, then the next test for me is, does it improve my workflow? Because
does it save time?
Because as we've just said, if what we're doing is passing the pub test, which is, are the clients happy, then there's really no reason to upgrade. But if it's going to help me, if it's going to maybe do what I'm doing a little bit better, but it's also going to help me in terms of time.
Yep.
Then the new stuff is way faster.
Yeah, and the perfect example of that would be Clarity. Would be the last sort of thing that I've sort of invested in, because it's dial it in. Just as we've spoke about when it came out, put it on the track, dial it in, and bang, it's pretty much done. And 9 times out of 10, it's done better than.
Here's my experience with Clarity versus like Z noise. Z noise, you would noise reduce and you'd hit the floor of where if you try to reduce it too much more, you were hearing new noises or weird noises.
Yeah. Artifacts.
Clarity, you can artifacts basically, exactly. Clarity, you can just reduce everything. And it's harder to put your finger on the artifacts, but what you do have is clients who literally asked me to add noise back in, probably to the same degree that I could get it down with Z noise in the first place. And you're just sort of zeroing in on the same point as far as, there it is. It works for the job. And my primary use has not been denoising completely upfront dialogue. Maybe it's stuff recorded on camera. So there's an expected amount of noise floor with that is acceptable. So it's not a person in the booth where you need to hit like absolute zero pretty much.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's like, there's always the very tip of the sphere essentially.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So Cedar, no one talks about Cedar for
Cedar.
example.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting is that Clarity VX, from my experience, and I haven't used it extensively, but I use it here and there as a problem solver. it does seem to preserve the mouth noise, correct? Is that what it doesn't remove mouth noise?
No, because it seems to just concentrate on sort of a consistent noise as opposed to a click and a pop and all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. It seems that you would think that they could train that. They could have a model, at least, maybe. They could have another model, has broad 1, broad 2.
A D-click model.
They could have like a D-click model or something.
I tell you what, George, they probably are working on that, but you can bet that it won't be a model. It'll be another plugin. It'll be Clarity D-click or something like
course.
that. Go buy this one now.
Yeah.
Let me propose the name of the knob. It's a humidity knob, and you can turn it up or down.
Humidity knob.
Yeah.
So when it's very high humidity, the microphone starts crackling. Is that what it's for?
Yeah,
I guess. I mean, usually with voiceover, if you have it too humid of a mouth, you have a lot more mouth clicking,
yeah,
don't
that's
you?
true.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So it'll be waves humidity then. Is that what we're calling the plugin? Should we get Gomez on the line now? Give him the heads up.
Yeah.
Moist levels. Moisture.
It could be,
moisture, pH and moisture level.
Moist VX.
Don't make me laugh, man.
Dear, we're going downhill now. Quick, finish the episode.
This is the way we do things around here.
I've got to say though, I don't use plugins, and if I'm doing dialogue editing, which I do on this show, I do it all manually.
Yeah.
And using a mouse, I don't put my balls on the line.
That's right. Well, see, you're past 60, so you're just old school. That's the thing.
I'm old school.
You are old school.
I do it actually holding a razor blade.
He actually transfers it to tape and then starts editing.
He's got the splicing block and razor blade and China graph sitting in front of him. Is that right, AP?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what all those white marks are on your screen.
That wasn't to do with editing tape.
Oh, you had a band-in over the weekend. That answers the question.
The multi-purpose studio tool, the razor blade.
Thank you very much. The gift that keeps on giving.
Indeed.
Well, that was fun. Is it over?
The Pro Audio Suite, with thanks to Tribooth and Austrian Audio, recorded using Source Connect, edited by Andrew Peters and mixed by Voodoo Radio Imaging, with tech support from George the Tech Whittam. Don't forget to subscribe to the show and join in the conversation on our Facebook group. To leave a comment, suggest a topic, or just say g'day, drop us a note at our website, theproaudiosuite.com.